Yo, what's going on? It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, Tbkc, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shit. A little bit tired, but I got a good question. Like I said, we're gonna go through many different things on this page, many more in the mentorship program. I tell you what, somebody asked about Thug, the notorious Thug. Grand Champion Thug, the father of Halle, first ever champion Halle B, and he had Hades, Poncho. He had a few productions, and they asked me, to describe him, his impact, and I tell you what, his story is sort of strange and a little bit sad. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes, it's not that a dog isn't great. It's just that circumstances sometimes, owners sometimes, affect the dog's legacy. When Thug hit the scene, and he started really hitting the scene strong, I think it was around 2005. He was blowing through shows. The few shows that he did, and I happened to see him down in Orlando for the first time. It was actually, I was waiting on Halle to be born. Man, Thug was beautiful. Thug, if I had to guesstimate, I would say Thug was probably in that area of between 100, 110 pounds, maybe bigger. And incredible, rust-colored coat. Man, just a beautiful, shiny coat. Very big, thick dog, wide rib cage. I guess in the face you might have wanted a little bit tighter skin, but it would do. The dog moved so well. He was just a very well put together specimen. In all actuality, people ask about my dogs that come down through Denzel and the bone. That bone comes from Thug. Thug was walking around on tree trunks. He was just an incredible physical specimen. And like I say, the few times that he was bred, he produced his ass off. Now, the sad part of that story with Thug is that, he could have been so much more like many other dogs. At the time when he first came in, he was owned by the Trevinos, And when it came down to that situation, I'm just going to be real with y'all. The Halle litter hurt the situation a lot. I'm gonna be real with you. The Trevino they were great people. They were very nice, kind people. They were very good to me throughout the process of getting Halle. They really had high expectations. They had what a lot of people have when they come into the bully world. They wanted to do something special. And I mean, to be realistic, it's no secret, but on that deal, Dave was actually, doing one of his usual deals where he gives up a female instead of, getting the cash for her. He was giving up the female basically for, for pups back. And that's how I ended up with Halle, because Halle was originally a pick that Dave was supposed to have. And he didn't want to keep any dogs. I bought the pick off of him immediately. And several other dogs. They paid their weight. Trust me, they paid their weight in that breeding. They pretty much gave away all the puppies, and they ended up with Hades, because Hades, whoever got him, basically starved the dog. I had a chance to take him, and I wish I did, because he turned out to be a monster. But he was skin and bones with this big ass head when we did that first show in Virginia. Bringing back the bullies, 2 up, 2 down, and. He turned out to be a monster that produced dogs also. But, long story short, what ended up happening is that Dave took credit for everything. Halle became, of course, a very big deal. They had other deals with Dave, and Dave just didn't do right. He did what he always does. He uses people. He takes the credit, puts his name all over everything. And it really left a sour taste in their mouths, to the point where they sort of walked away from the bully community. Well, when they did that, that was that was right in the prime of when Thug could have been kept on making these dogs, should have been doing a lot of breedings, especially when you got a daughter that's tearing up the world and was basically the #1 dog out there at this time. But since they walked away, it wasn't very many breedings. They started to be sort of turned off by the whole bully world. He later on ended up in the hands of someone else, and they loved the dog. He lived a good life, but they didn't do a lot with him either. He just became a great pet. And you know, it's one of those bad stories that you wish that the dog would have been in the hands of somebody who would have bred him more and let him contribute to the bully world, because even outside of these breedings, there were other breedings that he did well in, and you could see his genetics pushing through, and he brought the same traits: mass, bone, and great conformation. You know, if you have any thug blood in your pedigrees, you know, outside of the thug blood that I have, you have some excellent blood. You know, I would definitely take that blood back to some other edge blood. And you know, Thug himself was part edge, you know, part gray line, but I would take that back to some other edge blood and let it click. Most notably, you know, if you can get anything from the short shot family, it clicks very, very well with that blood, you know. And later on, we found out that it clicks very well with the newer strands of the Cairo blood. But, you know, as far as you go, you know, with the notorious Thug, you know, Trevino's notorious Thug, the boy was a beast, you know. And like I say, it's very, very unfortunate that him, like some other dogs, got caught up in the politics and wasn't a bigger contributor to the American bully world. But, you know, through his kids, the few kids, you know, that he got out there, it's definitely a major contribution, because everybody who has, you know, any dogs off of me, for the most part, he's in their pedigree. Anybody who has dogs off of Hades, he's in their pedigree. And there are several other dogs that he's in their pedigree. And he was very much so a foundation dog to this breed, in the sense that he was different. He was a lot thicker than most dogs. And he also carried the conformation, you know. Like I said, we missed an opportunity with that dog, but the good thing is we got a little bit out of him that carried on and made a legacy. But that's my words on the notorious Thug, you know what I mean? Beautiful, beautiful animal, you know. Wish we could have had more. Until next time, y'all, much love. Peace.